Hello, it's time for video number 0155, more word problems. This is Mr. Miller. We're going to just do two examples to help you get through the assignment on more word problems. This is our first example. Jan and Maria went to a concert at the United Center. There were several booths in the lobby selling merchandise, and they went up to one of them to check out the prices. It turns out that 4 wristbands and 2 t-shirts would cost $54. And then 2 wristbands and 5 t-shirts would cost $99. The question is, how much does each wristband and each t-shirt cost? Okay, so I'm going to go through a very traditional way of solving a problem. The first step is to define the variables. So we're going to you don't have to use x and y, but I'll let x be the cost of a wristband. And we're going to let y equal the cost of a t-shirt. Okay, so you got to look for which quantities are we trying to find. That's why we're going to let our variables equal. And we have 2 wristbands and t-shirts, so we have 2 different variables. Okay, the next step is to try to write equations from the facts they give us. So the first fact is that 4 wristbands and 2 t-shirts cost $54. All right, well, we have 4 wristbands, so that'd be 4 times x. 4 wristbands, x is the cost of each one of them, so the wristbands would cost 4x. We have 2 t-shirts, so that'd be 2 times y. That's the total cost of 4 wristbands and 2 t-shirts, and it's supposed to equal 54. All right, so since it worked out to $54 evenly, I'm going to leave off the cents there. The second fact is that 2 wristbands and 5 t-shirts cost $99. So 2x plus 5y equals 99. Okay, and now all we have to do is solve. So this is really the part of, or the point of this assignment is, can we define the variables? Can we write a system to represent the problem? And we've already worked on solving systems of equations. All right, so I'll go ahead and solve these. It pays to look a little bit before you jump in and start solving. I see that if I multiply this second equation by 2, the x terms would match. We have 4x here and we'd have 4x here. And so that's what I'm going to do. Our goal is to get either the x terms equal or the y terms equal so that we can subtract the equations. So we get 4x plus 10y equals 198, because that's 2 times 99. And now when we subtract them, we get negative 8y equals negative 144. Divide by negative 8, you get y equals 18. So we have y equals 18. Now we're going to find x. We're going to substitute that value of y into the first equation. We get 4x plus 2 times 18 equals 54. And if you solve that, you get x equals $4.50. All right, so we should state the conclusion. Each wristband cost $4.50, and each t-shirt cost $18. That's the conclusion. So sometimes you have to solve. You have to go back and make sure you answered the question, and that was the question. How much did each wristband and each t-shirt cost? Okay, here's our second example. The larger of 2 numbers is 12 more than the smaller. And the sum of 2 numbers, is 5 less than 3 times the smaller. Find the numbers. Okay, we're going to start as usual by defining the variables. We're looking for 2 numbers. So I'm going to let x equal the larger number. And I'm going to let y equal the smaller. Okay, so we have to define the variables before we can write the equations. All right, so now we're going to translate the facts. The larger of two numbers is 12 more than the smaller. The larger of the two numbers is x. Is means equals. So x equals 12 more than the smaller. So we're going to take the smaller and add 12. That's our first equation. The second one is the sum of the numbers is 5 less than 3 times the smaller. The sum of the numbers is x plus y is, that means equals. Here's the tricky part. 5 less than 3 times the smaller. 5 less means we're subtracting 5 from 3 times the smaller. So 3 times the smaller is 3y, and we're subtracting 5. This is hard for people because the math is the opposite order than the English. English says 5 less than 3 times, but here we got to do 3y minus 5. We have to take away 5. All right, now we're going to solve these. I'm going to use the method of elimination, although you can use other methods. But in order to use elimination, I need to write the system in standard form. So in the first equation, the y has to go to the other side. So this is going to become x minus y equals 12. And on this one, the 3y needs to go to the other side. I need to subtract 3y from both sides. So I'm going to get x, y minus 3y would be minus 2y equals negative 5. Now, again, look at the system before we start solving. I see that the x terms are the same in both equations, so it's ready for me to subtract. So x minus x is 0x, minus 1y minus a negative 2y would be plus 1y. So you gotta be careful when you subtract. Negative 1 minus a negative 2 is positive 1. And 12 minus a negative 5 is 17. So we get y equals 17. Okay, let's go back to the first equation and get x. So we get x is y, which is 17, plus 12, which is 29. So the larger number is 29, and the smaller number is 17. Okay, those are two examples. So it takes a lot of practice to solve word problems, to define the variables, translate the facts into equations and solve them. It takes a little bit of practice and skill and patience, but you can do it. And these are all really good math skills, so it's worth the time to spend practicing them and mastering them. Okay, so you should be ready to complete assignment 0155, more word problems in the Google Classroom, and you can always reach out to me if you need help. Take care.